money, 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 money in the bank. Hello, hello everyone, and welcome to BunkaMania Wrestling here on Twitch, on YouTube, and also for a takeover of the Dekker Dane channel as well here on Twitch. So yes, we're on 3 different channels today. So yes, if you're watching on any one of those today, do get involved. We're going to be talking a lot of WWE things because a lot of things happened over the space of 3 days, 4 days if you want to include NXT and name suggestions. So yes, we are going to cover a lot today. So it's quite a stacked show, or it's kind of like a kind of whirlwind tour of what's just happened in the last couple of days. I'm, of course, the Dekker Dane, and joined, as always, when it comes to WWE content, by Harriett, a.k.a. Manga Girl. Harriett, how are you doing today?
I'm all wrestled out again.
You had it in the voice. You had it in the voice. It's like, I'm all wrestled out. I can't do this again.
It's totally not the fact I've just eaten food and now my throat is just completely dried up. Also, I am very tired as well. So
you need to believe as well, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, actually, once. Thanks, Felf.
Thank you, Fel.
There we go. Thank you, Felf. But yeah, it's been a very hectic period. Things happening in the ring, out the ring, everywhere, anywhere, all that sort of stuff. It has been a very mental couple of days in WWE. Sum it up, other than using the words that I have just used, sum up the last couple of days in WWE content.
I think my folks has put it quite really. Iguana. Oh, Mr. Iguana, because I stand that man now, and Leyeska as well, the plush. So yeah.
Yes.
But in all honesty, 3 words. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Story driven telling, I suppose, because I will say this: Raw After has opened up a whole Pandora's box of everything else now at this point. So
pretty much. Yes, I would say there was the good, the bad, and the absolute strange of WWE on show this entire weekend. So yeah, I think we'll just kick into it. There's a lot to go. We're covering Worlds Collide. We're covering Money in the Bank. We're going to talk about Raw. If we've got time, we're going to dive a little bit into NXT in terms of one Mariah May, no longer Mariah May, now Monroe. So I think we better start with Saturday's matinee, or early evening matinee, or basically evening matinee if you're in the UK, of Worlds Collide. Now, Worlds Collide is the super show that brings in AAA, which WWE acquired just at the start of WrestleMania, meeting up with NXT and WWE talent, just for some fun matches. Just for some fun matches in total. Yeah, I mean, generally as a show, I had a lot of fun. I mean, I think it's kind of like you get the flavor of the AAA talent per se. It was like, and Matty Boo, who might be popping in the chat later on. If he does, we'll say hi to him in the chat. Matty Boo kind of very astutely kind of observed it as it's a very glorified house show, because it had that house show vibe. It had kind of like the staging setup as well, and all that sort of stuff. And even a lot of the results just seemed like, okay, this is a result. Does it mean anything in future? No, I don't think so. Well, you could probably argue Ethan Page surviving his fatal 4-way match, and maybe from the storylines of Gable running into Money in the Bank and then into Raw, you can probably do that. Yes. So we're going to address Moth Fox's desires of iguanas pretty quickly, because the show opened up with Mr. Iguana, Aerostar, and Octagon Jr. taking on Lindsay Dorado, Cruz de Toro, and Dragon Lee from the LWO. I didn't. Again, this was a match I didn't get a chance to properly see because I joined in the show a bit late. Harriett, I think you definitely saw the joys of an iguana.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I think because I've watched New Japan Wrestling, they tend to use inanimate objects a lot, especially blow up dolls, and like stuff like that. Teddy, I'm just saying, it's true. They have.
I know. I don't doubt you.
Also plushies. Also, actually, we've even had an invisible match between two invisible people, which I don't know how, which is still one of my favorite matches. But yes, I think the thing that saved or pretty much ignited the whole match was Mr. Iguana and the plush or the puppet, the Yeska, which was initiated a few times during the match, even to the point that Lince did, I think, a German suplex on Lieska.
Well, he did a standing Spanish fly.
That was it. Yeah, sorry. It was brain's gone. It's too hot. But yeah, it was, and obviously everyone loved the character, everyone loved Lieska, and to the point that even he ended up when he in the bank with the other people he was with.
But basically, he tried getting merch on the shop, and the merch is selling pretty okay. And they're already trying to discuss whether or not we should have iguana puppets. And it's like, oh no. And it's like, basically, a lot of like the wrestling sites just reported that everyone just enjoyed Mr. Iguana that entire weekend. It's like he was such a nice person. He had an iguana. He was dressed up as an iguana. He was such a nice person. Maybe we should do more things. He had a video package on Raw, which tells me that either they are shifting. They're either going to feature him in a cameo role of some sort, or
they're pushing him to the moon.
We might come back to that, because I know there's a mystery with King of the Ring qualifiers from Raw, so we'll come back into that a little bit. But I will just say nothing has brought me joy more this week than watching Ollie Owen Wrestle Talk just losing his damn mind, screaming, he's got an iguana! Just over.
It's Mr. Iguana!
It's like, I know it's a bit, but my word, he sells it so wonderfully well.
And the dance break as well.
And Liz, iguana break. Haven't seen that in ages, anyway.
No.
So yeah, I take it a fun match to kick off the show. I came in during Stephanie Vaquer and Lola Vice taking on Cheek Tormentor. And apologies if I do get this wrong. Dallas. Trying not to make it sound like Dallas, but Dallas.
There is no point asking me, because I'm not going to be terrible. I'm going to be terrible. This is why I apologize.
Well, that's why I went ahead with the forewarning as well. Yeah, again, a fun little tag match, and basically, Devil's Kiss has now just become the show. Thanks, Booker.
Pretty much.
It's basically now it's just like Devil's Kiss. It just.
Even the crowd's joining in now.
I mean, it's just that everyone's now doing the collective sound of Booker T just losing his mind over something.
Pretty much, yeah. I think it's like with Trick Williams, oh yeah, I dig it sort of thing. People kind of catch on to that.
Works. That kind of works. That kind of that's all cool. That's all kind of cool with that, because it's like you're feeling in the vibe of the moment of like the opening tune. Here it's just Booker T just clearly losing his shit over a sort of provocative move. I don't think it was ever supposed to be very provocative in the first place.
No, but I think it has been turned into that now. Yeah, it has.
Yes.
Great move, though, I will say.
Yes. I can't remember. I think Charlotte tried it one time on a SmackDown a couple of weeks ago, and people were just going, "What are you doing stealing that move? What are you doing? What are you?" It doesn't work. You haven't got Booker T losing his damn mind. Anyway.
I don't think Wade would, but to be fair. Oh, God. You're imagining it now, aren't you?
He's just going, oh, Joe, do you see what's going on, Joe? And Joe's just going, well, I'm disappointed. I don't think I've ever tried to impersonate Joe.
That's actually not pretty bad, I will say.
It's a mixture of Mauro Ranello, apologies if I butchered the name, and Gene and Gene Okerlund, just combined them. So you've got like, it's kind of like a combination of those two voices, and then you've got Joe. And I think Joe's been doing wonderful work since joining WWE as a commentator recently. So, well, not recently. I think he's been there for about a year now. But
I
yes,
think so. Yeah.
Yeah, because they announced him at Mania 40 that he was joining at some point.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's besides the point. Stephanie and Lola won, and that was that.
The crowd was happy.
The crowd was happy. They saw the move. The crowd was happy. Then we had another sort of melee, like a melee trios match. We have Legado del Fantasma taking on El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr., which I know from Duolingo as the son of Dr. Wagner Jr. Psycho Clown and Pagano.
Thank you, Duolingo.
I haven't done my Duolingo yet. I need to do that at some point.
Neither have I. I'm on 401 days now.
I think I'm on 500 something. I can't remember. But it's just like it's something I have to do. And now otherwise Duo will hunt me down.
The emails are quite scary.
The emotes are very quite scary. But yeah, this match in particular, again, a really good trios match. I'm surprised Legado won, considering the soap opera madness they were doing over the last couple of weeks of like, we're a family, we're trying to do this together, we're trying to battle enemies from another promotion, and we're going to show why we're the best. But you had that thing with Berto kind of looking like he was going to turn his back on Legado, and it just didn't happen. After all that sort of thing of like, Santos Escobar just kind of falling over Ray Phoenix, annoying Berto, and we had the whole thing, and it's just like, we came together as a team and we won, and we carried on.
Anyway, next. Literally, Thanos snapped out of Gone now again. This storyline, I don't. Yeah, because it was Andrade, wasn't it? Someone was was it Andrade who was trying to convince?
I think Andrade was, but then I think it all kicked off with Ray Phoenix appearing, and basically Santos gets very kind of going, that's someone we need in our group. In our group, where we haven't really done anything except for challenge for tag titles a little bit, and still didn't really do much there either. But having really good matches, though, I will stress they've had really good matches, especially the single matches against Ray Phoenix. But yeah, and then it's just like, I think Berto was just testing the waters of, what if I left Legado del Fantasma? What if I took my wolf scar makeup on my pec and I go somewhere else?
You did think it was like a tattoo, didn't you? Or like a makeup thing, but I think it's genuine.
If it's genuine, that looks very good. But to me, it kind of looks like it's like someone's just kind of, okay, now we're just going to dab the cold water just to get it on and move on. I do apologize if it is real. I will stress that now.
It probably is oiled, like, they oil themselves up.
Yeah, if it's oiled up and glistening under the lights, then that makes sense. But yeah, it's just like, the way it pops just makes you think, is that just it's either makeup or it's been drawn on, or it's a thing. But I will be happily corrected if I'm wrong there. That's a side point. That is a side point in the witness story of Legado del Fantasma. Maybe they'll have a soap opera thing on SmackDown on this weekend, and they'll be going, great, we're a family. And then Berto just goes, but I'm still not happy. And then Santos Escobar will look disappointed. And something will happen. I do like saying Santos Escobar like that, like Santos Escobar.
Will you say I know who's to blame?
Yeah, it's that Carlito thing of, I know who to blame. Santos Escobar. We'll talk about Carlito and some releases in a little bit. So moving on, Ethan Page survived the spot fest that was against Dragon Lee, Javon Evans, and Laredo Kid for the North American Championship. I thought this was a really fun match.
Yeah, this was my match of the night.
Because it was just from Worlds Collide, or overall for the weekend.
From Worlds Collide, sorry.
From Worlds Collide. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a lot of high spots. There's lots of flips, lots of bouncing. If you're Javon Evans, there's a lot of bouncing as well. But also, that's what he says when he goes to the ring, going to get bouncing, all that sort of stuff. There was a lot of stiff hits as well, especially when it came to like people looking up with Javon as like, okay, stiff hit, all that sort of stuff. Really it was a really good match. And yeah, you either thought even was either going to lose it to someone probably from, he was either going to lose it in some strange fashion, or he would escape by the skin of his teeth, and that he did.
That was the latter, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
I honestly thought it was either that or Javon was going to win. So,
but on NXT now, Ricky Saints, trying to say Saints, not Starks, returned started trouble again. So I have a feeling he's got another date with Ricky Starks at Saints.
It's fine.
It's fine. It's the same name. We all know who I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think we're going to have another Page and Saints. I was really trying to think that through. It's like cavalcade of. It's like, what one do I say? Do I say
names?
It's like, has Ethan Page's name changed? No, it's not. I have to low key say as well. I think Ethan Page has had quite a fun run in his first year in NXT.
It's been great. I've really enjoyed it. Like, especially being the heel that he is and how he has won through horrible ways, I will say, but still done blindingly good. Really good.
Absolutely. And then in our main event, we had Chad Gable taking on Vikingo for the AAA Mega Championship. Again, I think it started off slow, this match, and then it picked up in big ways, and it was really, really exciting to watch.
Yeah. I will say this was it didn't seem very short, but it seemed quick. So that means I enjoyed it then. So it did take its pace at the beginning, like you said, but then afterwards it did speed up, and then I did end up really enjoying the match. And I always thought Gable wasn't going to win because obviously the whole thing of him not winning to luchadors is kind of still an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
But still a good match. I think because we were watching it and then looking on Discord, but I think he's okay. But there was worry about his knee.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Vikingo's knee towards the end, because he did look like he was savoring it quite a bit. But no, it's good if he hasn't injured it, because I think he's got another match for that belt set up at Triple Mania against that person, Alberto Del Perron.
Yeah, that was announced today. So
yeah,
we will not. You know who? It's who he lost the title. It's who he gained the title from. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out. But no, I think it was a good sort of a great demonstration of Vikingo for those who hadn't caught him in AEW during his last run in AEW and stuff like that. And Gable just continues to prove how great a wrestler he is, because he has a great moment. Well, I say he has a great moment, but someone who kind of looks like him and moves like him had kind of a really good moment in the men's Money in the Bank match. Yes, indeed. So that's what's Collide. Generally, fun show. Commentary. Corey Graves had a blinder. We hadn't heard Corey Graves on a big show for a while, so that was quite good. I know he's on NXT, but if you've been watching like more of the specials and more of the main roster, you wouldn't have heard Corey Graves for a while. Conan was there. I mean, it was insightful, but he I'm not going to lie, he kind of sounded a bit tired.
He did sound bored, I will say. I think we were kind of not mimicking him, but like when we were watching it with Matty, and Matty was like, "Oh my god, he's actually sounded excited or something." It's just like, yeah. So it's just like, I don't think I've listened to Conan commentate before, so I couldn't really adhere to.
Nor have I.
So I can't really compare, but I mean, commentary, like you said, was good. I did like the fact that Corey was there, and I think he did share it on social media afterwards how happy he was to kind of be back in the spotlight and how much of a dip he's had. So it's kind of thanked everyone for his support, so to speak. So in a way, it was good to see him there, and I'm glad he got like a front row, so to speak, in regards to commentary, because like you said, he has been on NXT, but you have Booker T and Vic Joseph, who are both big characters in their own right.
They are.
Especially Vic Joseph, who has grown a lot. And Corey was just like, and I'm just here. So I don't mean that unkindly, but I do feel like he has been relegated at some point to where he was. And I don't mean that unkindly, because I do really like NXT, but I think for a smaller show, a two-man show is better in regards to.
It's quite strange, because it's like the main roster shows, both Raw and SmackDown, they are locked down to two-man booths now. Whereas NXT and even Money in the Bank itself had a three-man booth. We had Cole, McAfee, and Wade. So it kind of gives the impression, it's like, well, is it just WWE kind of thinking maybe a three-man booth for either one of those two shows might imbalance the quality of the commentating, or kind of
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a thought. It's a general thought.
Yeah, exactly. But in all, it was a good pay-per-view. I enjoyed it because I've never seen pretty much all of these wrestlers before, apart from the ones we know from WWE. So, but I probably would watch another one if they show it. I think they have advertised a new one. I just don't know when. But no, I would watch it again if they advertised it or they showed it on YouTube, because that was good. The fact they showed it early for everyone to watch as well. So yeah, I'd watch it again. It was fun.
Cool. And yeah, if you want to check it out, it is on YouTube. So a couple of hours pass, go straight into Money in the Bank. Big show, lots of things going on there. And we kick off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It was Rhea Ripley, it was Roxanne Perez, it was Julia, it was Stephanie McCurd doing double duty, it was Alexa Bliss, and it was Naomi. I'm not sure if I've actually said it on a previous episode, but I think I did kind of call Naomi to win this.
You did. I think we did talk about it towards the end of the last podcast. Nia was in agreement with you.
Yes. And I think, there was a lot of cases for, I think, a couple of people to win that match, especially if you were trying to elevate a younger talent. So Perez, Julia, or even Stephanie because because when she suddenly just moved over to Raw and had this big promo video of all her accomplishments, and obviously it's just kind of going, are they kind of fast tracking her to Money in the Bank? Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I think the only person in that group that I felt would probably been a bit deflated if they won would have been Rhea.
Same.
Just simply because Rhea is a huge star. She can afford to lose a Money in the Bank ladder match, and if she had the contract, there's not much story behind it. That's kind of the thing. I mean,
everyone knows how much I love Rhea, but even I would have been slightly annoyed if she won, because it's kind of, she has been champion already. The fact that this is her first ever ladder match as well really surprised me. But don't get me wrong, she had a good match. But yeah, I would have preferred, and I'm happy who won. So I would have preferred Naomi to win, or one of the NXT girls, preferably Roxanne, maybe out of the three. Because like you said, I think, as much as I love Stephanie and Julia, I think it was very much quickly get them on to Money in the Bank show for their talent, so to speak. And I think it would have been a bit too rushed if they won. They have plenty of opportunities. You've got Queen of the Ring coming up as well. So
I think Julia was kind of already a non-winner from SmackDown the night before, because she attacked Zelina Vega, made it very clear that she's going after the United States Championship. So it's kind of not. It's kind of like that was kind of like, okay, that's a thing that's happened. And I think we're not going to do an Austin Theory where we have the briefcase, we try to cash in on mid-title, and it goes horribly wrong, and everyone gets angry. And I did that on an episode of BunkaMania years ago.
I remember it.
That peeved me off to no end. But yes, Naomi wins the match. And I still think the best and probably only choice for this one, because it cements off a really strong heel turn. You could argue a better heel turn run possibly than Cena at the moment, because it's the things like the character, the music, the presentation, the interactions with other members on the roster, the promo with Bianca a couple of weeks ago where she just went, oh yeah, it's like, I thought we were friends. I went round to your parents' house. They weren't in, so I let myself in. And I looked around. I was a nosy friend. All that sort of stuff. And it's just like, okay, you're a bit creepy psycho, which is in line with the kind of other character that Naomi has become.
There is kind of a part 2 to that. So she tweeted about, I think, Bianca and, is it Montez is her husband?
Yes, Montez Ford.
Yeah, Montez Ford. I think he tweeted saying, oh, we're having dinner back at our house now that we're home. And Naomi said, oh, can I come over when your wife's not there? Or something like that. Or can I come over and say hello? I was just like, oh boy. Sort of, yeah. But yeah, you are completely right. I've loved Naomi since she's been in even the Funkadactyls. That takes me back. But to see her grow, and we talked about this actually, ironically, yesterday in regards to when she did her talk after on the post show, and when Big E was singing her praises, which deservedly so. She really is a fantastic wrestler. She was the women's TNA championship for a while, before she moved back to WWE. And I loved the whole thing of her getting really emotional with Big E, talking about her winning, and then turning to the crowd and just like, shut up, when they were saying you deserve it. That's a good heel character, where you could be emotional 1 minute and then suddenly turn around and like, nah, screw you. I deserve this. You didn't help me, sort of thing. But yeah, deservedly so. Also, the spots in some of in that match. Oh, I think one of my favorites. There's two. So it's when Roxanne and Alexa, I think, did the Pop Rocks of the Code Red at the same time, either side of the ring.
Yes.
Oh, so good. And that was painful. And then Julia doing the German suplex while she's trapped in the middle of a ladder.
Yes.
Just incredible.
I mean, even Stephanie got to do Devil's Kiss on a ladder to Rhea.
Yeah.
As well. There was also the bit where I think Roxanne and Julia were kind of going, okay, let's try and bury Rhea inside a ladder and stuff like that. It didn't necessarily work to begin with. Ultimately, it did. And then it was just kind of like, we're just going to put Rhea out to the side and we're just going to throw ladders on her. Just throw all the ladders on her. All that sort of stuff.
It was the slow rise afterwards when she actually creeped up, and it was just like, oh no, you done goofed up.
Oh yeah. Oh no, hell is about to be paid. But no,
it was.
Yeah, I think in comparison to the men's match, I think from a storyline perspective, this is a stronger match. I will explain why I don't think so, but for the men's, I think people might be a bit wise to why I might have some annoyances on that one, but we'll crack on to that in a little bit. But no, really solid match. I think. Well, the show. Well, I'll just say the show in general was pretty entertaining. Was a decent show anyway. But a lot of other things are about to overshadow what happened on this show, and we'll get on to that. So the next match, a very quick match. Dominic Mysterio having an Intercontinental Championship match that night. Only announced hours before Worlds Collide, where he had a confrontation with Octagon Jr. So yeah, another kind of highlight for a AAA star. But the match very quick but the difference is Dom won clean. He didn't really have much didn't have any sort of heelish ways to win. He just kind of won clean, and there we go, viable kind of champion per se, which was unique.
It's very surprising. So obviously, you missed this because you came in during the second match, but this was pretty much at the end of the first match at Worlds Collide. Dom was wearing a mask, and then he took it off, and it was revealed it was him. Liv was with him as well, and then he kind of squared off against Octagon Jr. And then pretty much, you want to fight? We'll fight in Money in the Bank soon. So pretty much get over here, so to speak. Yeah, it was a very short match. It didn't last very long. I was just like, because even we were talking in our chat, it's just like, there's only 4 matches. Surely they have to do something. And then this was it. But even then, it was kind of slotted in nicely, but still went by just like that sort of thing. But like you said, it highlighted Octagon Jr. And I think even afterwards, he went up to Triple H when it was all said and done, in tears, just really happy to be on a WWE pay-per-view, PLE, and twice in one night. So one in his own company, and then in WWE. That's a great night, to be.
Yeah, it's like 3 stars doing like double duty that night. Well, I say double duty. I stand corrected. 2 stars. We pretend that one isn't the same person, or is he? Yes.
Well, Stephanie was technically 3 because she was SmackDown the night before as well.
Yes. So triple duty.
Triple duty, yeah.
Triple duty, all that sort of stuff. Yeah. We move over to the other women's match on the card, and again, a really good follow-up to the Backlash match. Becky Lynch taking on Lyra Valkyria for the Intercontinental Women's Intercontinental Championship, with the stipulation that if Lynch lost, she could never challenge again, aka the Cody Rhodes AEW rule. But at least that's as long as Lyra was champion. So that was the thing. That's the thing to stress. I think that's where Cody kind of messed up in AEW. He just kind of went, as low as I will never challenge for the belt again. It's like, you could have just said when, I don't know, Chris Jericho wasn't champion anymore. Probably realized that too late. He realized that too late. So Becky Lynch is the new champion. I thought this was a really good reverse of the match they had at Backlash, because it was Becky being the more aggressive and being on top in Backlash. Reverse here. So it's Lyra who has got properly unhinged over the last couple of weeks because of Becky's antics and promos. I mean, she cost Becky her shot at Money in the Bank, all that sort of stuff. So yeah, Lyra's on the offensive a lot and doing some very dirty stuff. There's like the leg drop on the barricade as well, and it ultimately comes down to the fact that Becky has to cheat to win by pulling the tights, as well. But no, they have really good chemistry, and their matches have been really good. Even the NXT Championship match they had when Lyra won the belt was really good. So it's kind of like, I think low key this has been building up to a really good solid feud for the year, especially in the women's division.
Yeah, I agree. And I think Lyra needed this as her first push for Intercontinental Champion, because I think I did say this last time where it kind of was growing a bit, not stale, but kind of, it was being pushed down the card a bit too much. And ironically, I know Raw leads on to something that was led on from WrestleMania, but the whole thing of Bayley not being there kind of helped this a little bit. Because like you said, the matches have been really good. I have enjoyed this. This was my favorite of the feud so far because, like you said, Lyra was just completely unhinged, didn't care. Even the Raw afterwards, she was in mad grr modes. Really.
Mad bird lady. Mad bird lady.
Literally. I tried to be mad, and I'd be like, "No, it don't suit you." So
maybe you need the wings. Maybe you need the Lyra bird wings. I don't know. I know people joke about this. Like, she needs to be taken seriously. Take the bird wings. I'm like, no, but people like going caw. I like going caw. All that sort of stuff. There was also a little bit at the end of the match after Becky won, and it was like, okay, if Becky won, then Lyra will begrudgingly raise the hand up.
Yes,
and she did. And then Becky was like, no, I need it. And I loved how she explained it in her promo on Raw. I loved how she explained it in her promo. It's like, I think it's like she raised the hand up so hard. It's like, I feel like she might have dislocated my wrist or pulled my shoulder out. So I wanted it to happen again. I wanted her to be respectful and put the belt around me. And it's like, I mean, the moment she kind of went, the more it was kind of going, I was like, oh, Becky's asking for the belt round the waist. I can't. Lyra's going to beat the shit out of her, isn't she?
And she kind of did with a German suplex. So
yeah, she kind of did.
Stormed off.
Stormed off mad. Apparently, it ruined Becky's night, so she couldn't hang out with her hot husband
and her lovely daughter. Yeah,
and her lovely daughter as well.
I will say, Becky's attire. Did she borrow that from Seth at the beginning? The red
possibly.
Jacket?
There was a great little like interview thing about Becky when she did like press after the event, and basically it's like I don't like Naomi. My daughter likes Naomi, but I don't like Naomi now because she's got the briefcase. I'm annoyed. All that sort of stuff. But the follow on from Raw from this one was obviously we felt this was going to continue, and then Bayley pretty justifiably turned up and did a surprise attack on Becky. So either it's going to turn into a freeway kind of feud for this title, or basically Bayley might have a couple of runs at Becky first, and then maybe Lyra comes back, or maybe Lyra starts getting prepped for like main women's title per se.
Yes. Also, Evolution's coming up, so
indeed. Then we move over to the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, or sports entertainment drama jamboree, to be perfectly honest. It was
Spanish novella.
It was Seth Rollins versus LA Knight versus Penta versus El Grande Americano versus Solo Sikoa. Had to remember some names there. And Andrade. Hello, Andrade.
You're on your own on this little island.
Thanks for being here, Andrade. Oh,
that's
the build up video for this match. Right? It's been pointed out, but it's like it's true. They do a lot of hyping for everyone. They do a lot of hyping for everyone. They go, Seth Rollins has won it before, and he's done the greatest cash-in of all time at WrestleMania. LA Knight's the home champion in Los Angeles. Hopefully, he might win. Penta's the new star that's capturing people's imaginations. El Grande Americano, quite comically and parody in the parody way, is the greatest luchador from the Gulf of America. And we go, and Solo Sikoa is dominant. He's got his own little mini bloodline. It's not the bloodline anymore, but it's still kind of like the bloodline. And Johnny's done it 3 years.
Yeah.
Good. Everyone else has a story, and Andrade's is basically,
and I'm just here.
this is his third time. Good luck, I guess.
Oh no!
Which is a shame, because Andrade is fun to watch in the ring. I like Andrade in the ring. It's trying to find the right thing that clicks in that allows Andrade to either really be focused on a mid-card title or possibly even higher. But at the moment, it just feels like they're comfortable keeping him in mid-tier, which is a bit of a shame considering how he goes in the ring as well. That's just me.
I agree.
So yes, this was quite the eventful match, kicking off with Solo Sikoa being, in my own opinion, one of the funniest heels in a ring when things aren't going his way, or when he thinks things are going his way, but then doing the best facial reactions or just responses as well. Because he gets rid of Seth at the start, he turns around, realizes he's being kind of surrounded by Andrade, Penta, and LA Knight, and then he starts trying to kind of bond with them by doing their kind of things. It's like he's trying to do the Knight side of things. He's trying to go for a fist bump, and then he tried to do the sexy pamphor walk of zero fear, and Penta just super kicked him. In that sense. Oh, this was a bit of a crazy match. The way the story has all been kind of built up, it's like either Seth was winning it or Seth was not winning it. And in the end, we go with Seth wins it, but not the way you think he wins it, to be perfectly honest. Because during the match, gets very heated. There's some great spots. El Grande Americano climbs a ladder on the outside, to climb a ladder on the turnbuckle, to climb another ladder on the middle, to suplex someone off, which was amazing, by the way.
That was one of my favorite spots of the wrestling of the whole match. It was incredible.
Yeah. At that point, it's like, if El Grande wins, fuck it. Let's just embrace the chaos. It's like, I didn't care if he ended up winning. It's like, yes, I think
he was my pick.
That alone.
He was my pick. Because of because everyone else has their own sort of stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
I was just like, I think he's going to win because he's going to embrace the fallout of everything. But I was wrong.
Yeah. So after all the madness takes place, we have members of, and I like to call them the future or visionaries, as people have very lovingly said over in what Wrestle Talks about.
Yeah.
The two Bronze, they come out to cause havoc. Breaker completely destroys El Grande with another mental spear, which at full high tilt. Just see it from different angles. It's just like a flying torpedo, just going. It is mental. It's the word of the stream that's so far. Mental. In the description of chaos. And there, so they start causing trouble, and then Solo's boys turn up. You got JC Mateo, the Jeff Cobb character, coming in, and Jacob Fatu coming in, and they sort out the two Bronze. It seems everything's all going to be fine. Jacob's encouraging Solo to climb the ladder. He's going, I kind of love you at the moment. Climb up the ladder. Go on,
literally said, I love you, Solo, again.
Just climb up the ladder. Climb up the ladder. But then, unfortunately, Jacob did hear the following night on SmackDown, Solo calling him an idiot. And we all know this was going to go wrong very quickly for Solo. So we have the words, I hate you, Solo. And yes, Solo got absolutely decimated by Jacob.
Very much so.
And then after a brief scuffle with LA Knight, Seth won. And that's that.
My genuine reaction. See, I was watching this because I've watched this in bits and pieces, and I finally got down to sit in the room I've converted to watch stuff in. And bless my mum, she was putting the washing away. And as I watched the end of this, I literally said out loud, "Oh shit!" out loud. And my mum just turned around, and was like, "Not going well." I'm like, no.
Right.
I was annoyed personally because I felt like it was the cop out, but I can see why going forward. But yeah.
Here's the thing. I don't mind Seth winning this briefcase. I don't, because the story is comfortably put in his faction as a dominant faction that's destroying people left, right, and center. That is fine. The problem I have with this is the people he's up against at the moment, Sammy, Punk, Jay's obviously busy with a match later on. In particular, it's Punk and Zayn who have in previous shows said he can't. It's like we can't let Seth win Money in the Bank. We can't let Seth do this to our roster, our locker room, and they don't bloody turn up.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
You think because everyone else turned up.
Everyone else turned up. The Bronze turned up. Solo's family turned up. Lots of people turned up. But the two people you expect to stop Seth Rollins from following through on his self-obsessed plan to be the future of the industry, and the two heroes couldn't be asked to get to Los Angeles to kind of go, no, push over ladder. Look, they could try and fail, and that would have been better. If they could have tried, and maybe they get cancelled out, or they get accidentally knocked out by a Solos group. I don't know. It's just like there was a better way to build up to Seth winning the case than just Seth wins.
I think that's probably why I was annoyed he won in that way.
Yeah.
I think.
That's the thing. It's like, it's like the most obvious pick was going to be Rollins. And I know they tried very hard to make it feel like it wasn't going to happen on SmackDown because he was beating everyone up. And you think, oh, maybe everyone gets their revenge on him in some equal measure. Because in like typical booking, if the heel's very dominant for a lot of things, especially on like the very last show, maybe that's a sign they might lose, or they might have a development happen or something like that.
Yes.
And he just does a stomp to LA Knight and he climbs the ladder and he has the case. And it's like, I don't mind he has the case. I'm just more pissed off about the booking of that match. It's just, it's the lead balloon. It's pretty much.
Very much. Yeah, I kind of felt after that I was very deflated. Don't get me wrong. And then I've realized what the next match was. I was just like, oh no. It's just like, this is not how I want to end a pay-per-view or PLA, whatever. I was mad at this point. I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah. So we move into main event of Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso reuniting to take on the man who wants to run wrestling, John Cena, the unseen 17 champion, and the man who is so humble. Harry, I don't know if I've told you this, how humble he is. Have you seen
how humble is he?
He's so humble. He's so humble. Drones just gently float into his hand and go zzz, and then float off into the sky. Like he can talk to technology. He's just so humble. He's so fucking humble, isn't he? That Logan Paul, so humble. It's like he is so good at being so dislikable in this.
Yeah.
It's the thing. It's like not maybe the biggest fan of the person, but god damn it, he's good at
he's a good wrestler.
Dick.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
He really is. Yeah, he really is. It's like you have to hate him.
Yeah. So again, being the typical kind of John Cena style match, this was a weird start to the match. It was kind of like a very slow build where basically it's let's beat up Jey. Clearly because it's playing into what happened on Raw. So yeah, Jey gets beaten down for like 10, 12 minutes. It's not that exciting. It's not that interesting. The only time it starts getting interesting is when Cena and Logan have a bit of an argument about tagging. To which Jey just very slowly just goes, I'm tagging Cody now. Bye. In this sort of way. I mean, it was perfectly comical because you see them arguing and go, oh no, he's just going to go tag Cody, isn't he? And they're just going to go, duh? the Tim Allen, duh?
Yep.
And in comes Cody Rhodes. And from then on, it gets silly. It gets quite fun. We alluded to it earlier.
Yeah.
Logan Paul tries his damnedest to be like so humble by trying to do like a big move off the top rope with a drone to capture the moment. So much that Cody Rhodes comes up and does a suplex on him. And it's wonderfully shot. I have to admit, it's like the drone bit there was quite funny.
And then afterwards, when Jay landed on him, and then the drone just flipped again.
Because he lands and then it's just all of a sudden the camera just goes fly. It's like, did Jay just land on him as well?
Yeah.
And then it's cut to like a wide angle.
Yeah, I really did. And that probably was one of my, apart from another bit coming up, but one of my favorite points of this match. And obviously it made me think, oh God, I that's so cool, but I don't like this dude still. So
he even went far to do a nice moonsault off the second rope over to the blooming table, which was, again, insane to see. It looked painful. And again, it's like, God damn it.
I think I said out loud, that man is dead.
It's like Logan laid there for a bit going.
Yeah.
And then he started moving. I think he was,
like
he was playing dead.
Yeah. The chest wasn't even rising up and down.
Yeah. I mean, even like he tried to do his buckshot lariat variant thing. And he kind of he scuppered that up. But I think that worked quite well because it felt like it played like into like Jay getting a bit of advantage. He tried to do it, faltered a bit, and then Jay goes, okay, super kick. And it kind of flows nicely. Yes. So
sorry.
Carry on.
I was going to say, with most of the matches we have seen from Cena so far, very slow start, but then it pretty much at the end, chaos, absolute chaos. So I think there was one point where Logan bounced off the ring, the ropes, but hit Cena accidentally.
Yeah.
And then it kind of kicked off, and then everyone was all down. I will say this wasn't my favorite match of the night, but I did enjoy it for what it was towards the end.
Yeah.
And there was a very big significant part at the end, which
because John Cena does his usual finisher now of I'm going to hit them with the belt.
Mm-hmm.
No crotch kicking today, just I'm going to hit you with the belt. Hits with the belt, attempts to gain the win, but lo and behold, Hidden Figure pulls him away, and basically it's revealed to be R-Truth, who then smacks him with the title belt and allows Cody to win. Now, obviously, this comes off the back of a very strange week and a bit with R-Truth, because the week before Money in the Bank, R-Truth announced on social media that he had been released, but it was more clarified that his contract was not being renewed, and it just happened to be sort of up now.
Yeah.
And obviously, for someone who's had quite a tenured career in WWE for like nearly 17 plus years, it was a bit of this is very weird. I mean, for us, I think we were a bit surprised by it because it's like he'd just come out of a sort of high profile kind of mini feud with Cena. And it's just kind of like the week after Saturday Night's Main Event, he lost to JC Mateo, and that was it, per se.
Yeah.
And yes, it builds up the whole "We Want Truth" chants, which hijacked a lot of pretty much every WWE show since that news was made. I'm trying to think through my head in terms of the things to say. It did kind of line up the same time as Carlito's contract not being renewed as well. So he just, as referred to, Thanos'd out of Judgment Day with no real explanation.
And the PlayStation was gone as well.
Yep. So that's the thing. And also, Sarah Logan, aka Valhalla for Viking or War Raiders, didn't have contract renewed per se. Yeah. But I think the one a lot of people were most egregious about was Truth, simply because the manner it kind of just happened, and it was just like he's been a real loyal company person.
Yes.
And it just shocked. Truth. So the understanding from the news reports, basically Truth did not kind of cater to any WWE calls after being kind of very coldly let go. But it was Nick Khan who came in to make the call, make the deal, and bring him back. And as Matty does say in the chat, hello, Matty. Hope you're doing well. Turns out he got rehired the day or so before SmackDown.
Yeah, it was pretty much. He was ignoring all the calls, and then Tony brought him back. I think the contract he is on now, this is it. I don't think it's a very long contract. I think this is very much like a Cena one. He can do what he wants, so to speak, or they've given him a lot of free reign as to what to do, and we have learned, especially on Raw, what that is. I'm still confused as to where this is going down, but I mean, I was completely shocked when I heard he was gone. I was really sad about it. I'm not going to lie, because I've always loved R-Truth. Very much, ironically, the first thing I ever watched him on was when he was K-Quick in Royal Rumble 2001. So that's how I learned about him. And then that man has not aged a day since since I've seen him. But yeah, it was a case of the fans did do the storytelling again, and I don't know. I think there's been reports of Triple H not liking this.
And Matty's pointed out in the chat, and I'll elaborate a little bit more on this. So obviously we have the We Want Truth trance, and I think if the crowds are entitled to do that per se. I think sometimes picking their spots was not a good idea. It's like trying to do that during the women's matches. It's like, what's that got to do with truth? Why are you hijacking the time of some very accomplished female wrestlers to chant? I appreciate it's the passion of trying to bring someone back that's beloved. I mean, it's like the We Want Truth things appeared on any live video from WWE, especially Worlds Collide as well.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
So you had to kind of turn off the live chat per se. And Matty Boo does also point out it's a very bad form to chant it when you're chanting during the Raw Raiders match, and one of their wives has also had the same achievement. So it's kind of like, it's like, okay, if this is supposed to be, oh, we're standing up for them cutting people that we like, it seems very disingenuous to kind of go, oh, we want truth, but you're not. I mean, there was a little bit of chance for Kalita, but it's like you're not really kind of trying to bang the drum for Kalita or Valhalla, and it's just
I think it was very much jumping on the bandwagon. Yeah. At that point, I think someone starts to chant, that's it, and I think. Yeah, understandably, there was a lot of it on social media, and I think the audience do pick up. The thing is,
I think I like truth. I liked our truth, and it's like it was sad to hear about the release, but it's kind of like this wasn't someone who was very high up on the card. This is someone who's just obviously has been around a lot, and I think the thing is, it's like the tenure and obviously the respect he has backstage is obviously one of the big components of this. This is one of the big components of this. So there's that. But this is a comedy character that has had a little bit of a high moment with the Cena stuff.
Yeah.
And that's sort of about it. So I guess, I mean, Wrestle Talk were quite good at kind of looking at this as like, is this just like the straw that breaks a certain contingent's fans back? Because there's been a lot of different things going on that fans have been kind of irked about, annoyed. Ticket prices, for example. Ticket prices. There's also, what was it as well? Again, it's like things like they don't like the advertisements, all that sort of stuff. It's like I get it. There's a lot of, sometimes the storytelling's not been as strong as it has been, say, like this time last year, or we were coming out at this point last year. It's like there's a lot of little things that I can appreciate. Even I kind of go, it's good at times, it's not great at times. But the fact of the matter, but it's still, to me, it's a lot better than what it was like 5 or so years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so I get that, and I kind of get that maybe truth going is the straw that breaks the back, and the fans want to vent about it, per se. I mean, the even crazier thing is like it's like there were wrestling videos or wrestling journalists having to put out things saying this was a shoot. Oh, no, it's true. Oh, not a shoot. No, sorry. Let me correct. This wasn't a work. This wasn't a work in the
Yes.
slightest. So you've got people kind of going, even from like the Triple H post conference going, "Oh, do you watch the show?" All part of the show. It's like, no, I get the feed. It wasn't part of the show.
No.
All that sort of stuff. And it is a, this whole thing kind of highlights the positive and the negative of fans. It's like fans are passionate and they made their voices heard, and R-Truth, Ron Killings, comes back to finish up on his terms, which is great.
Yeah.
But then it's the same thing of like trying to change the narrative, trying to make it all sense. Oh, this is part of the grand plan after all. And it's just like, I'm just tired of this shit. I really am.
No, I get you. I think because, like you said, it has brought it into a negative and a positive light, because obviously the fans have spoken, this is what's happened, but also the fact of, yes, you're right, you have Sarah Logan and Carlito, who still have not been re-employed by WWE.
Yep.
Even though it was the same thing with them, but I think Carlito didn't. I think the whole thing of it was Carlito came back into it recently, but again, like Truth, was a background character, and then Logan was off for a while because I think she was on maternity leave, I believe.
Yeah,
I
think she had another child or had a child,
and then didn't come back. So it is a double-edged sword, and as Matty said, the whole "We Want Truth" during a women's match when a woman had been let go, and then you had the releases prior to that as well, where the majority of the list was women. Yeah, the double standards there don't really flow very well with this.
Yeah.
It's very much a very weird scenario, don't get me wrong. I mean, when I saw the figure and I literally said out loud, "That's Truth, isn't it?" I wasn't even surprised. I really wasn't. What I was surprised at is, why did he do exactly the same thing again on Raw? Why did he turn up in the middle of, I mean, we'll talk about Raw in a minute, but
maybe
why? Yeah.
Maybe that's the part of it. Maybe that's part of the character now, because with Raw, he turned up, he jumped onto the commentator's desk, thanked the fans for making their voices heard, very genuine stuff like that, and basically, it's kind of shedding of the R-Truth, or basically being R-Truth has now been freed, and he symbolized that by cutting off his dreadlocks, which was quite shocking.
I literally watched that during my lunch break, and then when I saw what happened, I literally just like, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So he's technically now Ron the Truth Killings. So basically, he is the truth, nothing but the truth, all that sort of stuff, and put respect on his name. And I kind of like, and I'm kind of curious because I think it's been reported that he wanted to do more of a serious run. Recently. So maybe part of this final this part of this deal is basically he gets the chance to do some serious stuff, which he was well known for doing in TNA. Obviously, there's that little small mini run in WWE, which led up to like Capital Punishment, stuff like that. So it makes it intriguing per se. So it's like, okay, we'll see where this goes. So he's hanging around possibly Raw. He might turn up on SmackDown. You never know, but he might just be
do to attack Cena.
Yeah, might do. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what goes on. I mean, I'm curious about it. It'll be interesting to see if the fans that have been chanting into it, if they've been chanting for the comedy and they're getting the seriousness. That's the other weird component that's going to be interesting to see happen over the next couple of weeks or months.
Now, this is what I mean. Now, I'm in regards to the fans talking. Remember last year we had the whole thing with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah,
everyone wanted Cody to be in the main event. Everyone loved Cody. Everyone really wanted to be in him. People are now booing him. You know what I mean? Or like they have been booing him as such. Cena as well. Very much, he is a heel, but people love him or hate him, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I am very worried about the same with Truth now going forward. It's like, well, the favorite toy, so to speak, is, well, we're done, sort of thing. But
yeah,
I don't know how long the contract is, to be fair. So
I don't think it's been reported. I'll double check news sites for a quick second, but I don't think it has.
But I really do hope they do something with it. It's kind of, don't give him this role and then suddenly nothing happens. You know, I think it's a case of, you do need to give him something in this. Maybe another shot at the championship. Who knows? I don't know per se, but I think people were saying he is kind of going down more the heel persona in this route. It kind of like towards the end a heelish thing, like he was thanking the fans, but also this is what's happening going forward, so to speak. So I don't know. That's why I'm a bit confused as to what's going to happen, but I think he is SmackDown anyway, so we'll probably find out more maybe on SmackDown.
He might flip between both shows, but bottom line, this is pretty much the last ride for Ron Kinnings, and basically, I think it's the reports kind of per se it helps him position him into doing independent bookings once the contract runs out. So chances are it might be 2 months, it might be 3 months, it might just be he might end up having a couple of like strong matches against different opponents, and then maybe tries to take on Cena one more time, and Cena this time says, "No, if you lose, you're gone," and that's the proper retirement side of things. Because if they added that stipulation onto, I mean, that would have made Cena more of a bastard at Saturday Night's Main Event if he basically said, "Oh yeah, I'll give Truth a match, but if he loses, he has to leave the company," and then that would have been a bit more of a "we've accepted this" sort of way.
Yeah, very much like Bryan Danielson in AEW sort of thing.
Yeah,
that would basically better, I agree.
Yeah, because lost the title to Mox, and we haven't seen him since. Nope. So he's done. So we'll see how Ron Killings gets on. So we move over to Raw. Very busy show of Raw. King and Queen of the Ring is underway again, this time finishing up at Night of Champions. And the way they're doing this is they're doing qualifiers through fatal 4-ways into single elimination. So basically, to qualify for the single elimination, you've got to beat a fatal 4-way match. And we had two. We had two on the Monday's Raw. We had Roxanne Perez qualifying against Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Liv Morgan, adding a bit more tension to the Liv Morgan drama, which I thought was quite interesting.
That was, especially the whole, because, I know this is Finn's way of trying to squirm his way into, or trying to make Roxanne break the judgment or break up kind of Dominic and Liv. And you can see Liv is slowly getting more and more angry at this point. And I think at the beginning of the match, Roxanne's like, we'll help each other. And she's like, nope. I'm just gonna win, sort of thing. And the way she won just made me laugh, and I was just so happy how Roxanne won. And I was just like, oh, I am loving this. I really am. It's like Liv is just like going through downfall moment, and it's kind of the way she won, and then afterwards the whole celebration. I miss Carlito because he would have said something quite funny at this point. But
you would have said it was cool.
Probably you'll tell Dom to stop looking at Roxanne Perez's chicken. It's so much chicken denties. This is still a killer line. I enjoyed the match. It was good. The whole thing with WWE doing triple threats and 4-ways and just now, it's interesting.
I like it.
But I like it. Yeah, that's what I mean. It brings a new dynamic and a new swing into it. They totally spoiled Asuka coming back.
Well, they announced. They said Asuka's coming back, and she's in a fatal 4-way. So okay, I don't think Asuka's winning her fatal 4-way, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's not till next week anyway.
That's from for the men's side that same night. Sami Zayn qualified against Braun Breaker, Dominic Mysterio, and Penta. And LA Knight seems to be on a collision course with Seth Rollins because he interfered, taking out Braun Breaker. And Sammy also had another interaction with Cross. It's going to be interesting where we're going with that, considering Cross's contract is also due very soon in the summer. I would like him to at least have a little bit of extension so we can see where this is going, because I feel like there is something slowly brewing there. It's just frustrating that taking the time, and he's been popping up on Main Event doing well in matches, so it's like clearly they're positioning for something, hopefully something. I'd like to fix something.
I mean, at this point, his shirts were not like big sellers at one point. I think they started selling them at shows, but I would like you said, I would like him to do more rather than dripping the poison in the ear sort of thing, with Sammy slowly kind of not corrupting him, but kind of turn him the other direction in regards to, you could be going down this route instead of the nice route, so to speak. And even he said, you took advantage of that to win.
I kind of thought I kind of thought for a bit that if Jay retained against Gunther, I thought Sammy was probably a shooter, like a very strong bet to win King of the Ring.
Yes.
And then find some way to take the belt off Jay at SummerSlam. Because it's like, if you're going to fulfill that prophecy of Sami Zayn going to the dark side in some way, it kind of builds up that domino effect quite nicely. Didn't bloody happen, but we'll get on to that. We'll get on to that. But in terms of other qualifiers, so SmackDown. So from the men's side in the SmackDown Fatal 4-Ways, first one is Orton, Knight, Aleister Black, and Carmelo Hayes. Either Knight possibly wins that, or I don't know. Let's just say Orton. I mean, it's. I'm sorry.
I was going to say it's his first match back, isn't it? Since Backlash. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know. I think probably LA Knight, probably Carmelo.
Yeah, I feel there'll be some repercussions for Knight for Monday. So
yes,
it seems like it wipes out. On the other side of the bracket, so another SmackDown group: Rhodes, Priest, Andrade, and Nakamura. Well, that's Cody. Not even close. I think if Cody wins this, he's probably likely the winner of this, or this entirely. I think. Yeah. So he's on one of the Fatal 4-Ways. So basically, if Cody's in King of the Ring and he wins it, that's your Cena match sorted for SummerSlam.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. And then on the other side of the men's for Raw, we've got Sheamus, Rusev, Bronson Reed, and a mystery person who may very well be Mr. Iguana.
Or it could be Jey Uso.
That'd be a bit of a letdown.
We have been let down before.
It could be Joe Hendry. Let it be Joe Hendry. Let it be Joe Hendry.
Oh,
it probably won't be Joe Hendry. It won't be Joe Hendry. We can dream, but it won't be Joe Hendry.
You don't know. You really don't know.
I don't know, but they've let me down before by promising Joe Hendry, and it hasn't happened. But I think it'll be considering we've had the promo vid. It's going to be Mr. Iguana. And he'll take the pin from Reed, possibly.
But will we be mad if he is the mystery opponent? I probably won't be, but
no. If it's Mr. Iguana, great. But but he's not winning. I think there's a strong shot. It's either Cody or Zayn.
Yeah,
that's my hunch. To be perfectly honest. Women's side. So the other Raw match we've got is Asuka, Stephanie Vaquer, Raquel Rodriguez, and Ivy Nile. I think it's between Asuka and Vaquer. I think it will be Vaquer.
I think it'd be Vaquer, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Raquel's taken the pin, unfortunately.
Yeah. Or Ivy. Or Ivy's taking the pin.
I think there'll probably be more shenanigans, Judgment Day shenanigans, probably Liv trying to help, but not. I think there's going to be Raquel's probably going to be like the thing that kind of separates the two of them, so to speak. I'm guessing at this point.
So SmackDown this Friday, we've got Jade Cargill versus Meacham versus Niven versus Nia Jax. I think Jade. Cargill. I think Jade. I think Jade is a possible strong contender to win it as well from my side, from my view. The other SmackDown is Flair, Bliss, Green, and Candice LeRae. I can see the Flair and Bliss antics backstage that they've had, possibly
coinciding,
causing some problem. Yeah, possibly coinciding. So you never know. Green could probably have a little bit of a push. You never know. But no, I think from Money in the Bank, I think the storyline that's been set up has been I feel like it's been quite clear. But knowing me and WWE planning, it's not going to go the way I want it to go. My hunch is Cargill's going to win Queen of the Ring. She's going to beat Tiffany at SummerSlam, and Naomi's going to cash in.
Yes.
Or Naomi cashes in during the match and takes the belt that way.
Yeah, because as we learned through facts over the weekend, thanks to Wade Barrett, the women's Money in the Bank cash-ins have all been successful so far.
Which means it could fail. The way they keep saying it's been successful tells me there's a failure coming. I'm afraid there's a failure coming, and it might be Naomi trying to take off Jade, or Naomi
really
trying
sad if it is.
that'd be pretty stupid, and I hope not. Hope
Mm.
not. But then, yeah, Naomi can beat Jade, and then basically you've got that possibility of either Bianca challenging Naomi, or maybe it's Jade again per se. So it's like you can try and properly finish off the story. That's the way I see how it's happening. But knowing my luck, Charlotte wins. LOL.
That means we'll never know.
So I'm keeping it on time. Things that also happened. Chad Gable lost to AJ Styles. Don't know what's going on with Styles. We'll move on with that.
Nope.
Obviously, the big thing for Night of Champions that did happen is we are getting John Cena versus CM Punk. They had a really good promo thing on Monday, and John Cena brought out the doomsday clock again of counting down those dates, taking it down to like 18 dates now, which is a bit surreal. So, do we have 18 weeks left in this year? Do we have 18 weeks left this year?
We're halfway through, so
We
are literally halfway through June.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
scary
maybe
how quick that's gone down, because it was
So
60 and now it's 18.
So it's definitely every PLE he's appearing. He's definitely appearing at every PLE at the moment. So it's kind of figuring out the other ones, or figuring out
Probably
so it'd be
shows in between.
Yeah. So considering they've done the Night of Champions match announcement, he probably will turn up maybe the week before, and then we have the match per se. Obviously, some very curious conversations there, considering CM Punk's previous views on Saudi shows. But again, we don't know the full story about it, to be perfectly honest. Though I do think if it was like uber heelish things of Cena going, "Oh, you want a match with me? Well, I'm going to have the match in the place you don't really want to go to." Possibly.
This is my logic as well.
So it's like he's just being an utter bastard.
But the thing is, Punk like nodded, literally, like, yeah, I agree to it, sort of thing. So,
well, it's like it's the whole thing of he has to become a monster to become a monster. So,
he said, "Yep."
And as Matty's asked in the chat, I don't see him Punk not being hypercritical. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, the fact of the matter is, he made some comments when he wasn't part of WWE, and he was pretty much right near, or basically wasn't. It still had nothing to do. I think he came around back when he was on backstage, but it's like this was still a man who was probably still pissed off with WWE.
Yeah.
So it's
very
like,
much so.
And that's the thing. And I know that, and yeah, there's so many different things there, but it's just like, it's like if it's happening, it's happening. It's just like, fair enough. That's the sort of thing. I mean, it's like for Money in the Bank, for Money in the Bank from Rollins, again, I feel like if Punk beat Cena and then Rollins cashed in, it makes sense there, because it's like Rollins is always targeting Punk or trying to make Punk's life miserable.
Yeah.
But if he went after Gunther, that'd be stupid.
Oh,
Speaking of. So yes. Also side note, Nikki Bella came back to possibly start up something with Liv Morgan at Evolution 2, Electric Boogaloo. They haven't called it Evolution 2. They haven't called it Evolution 2.
No,
but it's just like,
but hence the downfall of Liv, like going slowly crazy that evening. Yeah, I think this is going to lead up to a match or a tag match.
Yeah. So possibly Nikki Bella to cost Raquel, possibly. We'll see. So we might have Brie back for a little bit as well. You never know. So that's happening. Brie Mount.
There you go.
Robot time. So basically, Raw finished up with the very clean win of Gunther taking the World Heavyweight Championship back off Jay.
Yes.
Which I'll be honest, it's like, I think it was fairly signposted Jay was losing that belt, to be perfectly honest, considering they kept going, you're doing a lot of matches when you should be playing for Gunther. You're getting involved with like John Cena and Logan Paul. You're doing a lot of matches that you really shouldn't be doing. And also you're getting tsunami'd quite a bit by Bronson Reed.
Yes.
It's like you're getting beaten up, Jay. You're getting beat up quite a bit, Jay. So logically, it makes sense considering Jay has been pretty beaten up It makes sense. It makes sense that Gunther, fresh as a daisy, can choke him out again.
Yes.
To make it happen. But it comes at the expense of a very, very short reign for Jay. And it's just like
a couple of months. That's not
and it's like,
yeah.
Not being funny, it's kind of been an indifferent reign. I mean, crowds love him.
Yeah.
Crowds love him. He still has that effect on crowds. As much as I do like the heat thing, I do get annoyed when it's going, go on, play it again. It's like, just get to it, please.
Yeah. Please hurry up. Yeah, that's it.
Please hurry up. Yeah. Because he did quite a bit of a big promo after the match, possibly suggesting he might be taking time off. Yeah, with his son. Yeah.
I mean, in all, it was a good match. I really enjoyed the match. Probably the favorite out of the ones I've seen. This, not to say this is the worst title run I've seen, but unfortunately, the World Championship has been seen as a mid card for a while. And I hate that.
Well, let's be honest. It was introduced because Roman wasn't dropping his belt. And so Roman had the custard belt, and they went, okay, well, no one's been Roman for the next 18 months. Here, have a belt. That was basically it, and it still is.
Pretty much. But yeah, it's. I'm just wondering now. It's like you said with Sammy earlier. If Jay had continued that, I could have seen this route of the twisting of Sami Zayn kind of turning and like literally
it works
leaning towards that. But now, what the heck do we do? It's just like
Sammy beats Gunther again.
I mean,
if he wins King of the Ring.
I mean, I could see him winning it, but
it's like
thrown it into a ray. This is what I meant. We have so many questions now.
I just don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
It's like I don't. Yeah.
No, go on.
It's just the thing. It's like, so what are we doing with the world title picture then? It's like it made more sense for Jay to either win the match against Gunther and then lose to Seth, or keep the belt and then possibly lose to Jay to Sammy at SummerSlam, and or again Seth cashes in. It's like it seems very weird that we've put it back on Gunther, and in all intents and purposes, Gunther's great in the ring, and hopefully he gets a better turn second time out for however long this reign's going to be.
Yes,
but it's like you're kind of going, a little bit on this, and it's like because they had stressed the importance of this particular match on this particular date.
Yes,
something was happening. Something was definitely happening.
I will say this though, I really enjoyed this Raw. This felt like a Raw after Mania episode, which is quite ironic because I really enjoyed Raw than I did more Money in the Bank. So it's just terrible.
It's kind of like they're kind of going, okay, we're off towards SummerSlam now. Let's start putting pieces down. And it's like, okay.
And they did.
And they did.
They really did.
And they did. We're going to have to see how SmackDown picks up on that. Hopefully it'll be fun.
Yes.
But
should be.
Maybe Matty's mentioned it in the chat. Maybe Gunther's destiny is with Sammy, and that's how Sammy wins his first title. But I think from a story perspective, it would have been better if he took it off Jay. Yeah.
Because of the whole history they have between them for many years, especially with the bloodline. It would have made more sense. Maybe though, he might win it back in honor of Jay, maybe, because Jay lost it. I don't know.
And then cheats to defend it against Jay.
Yes.
And then Karen's going, I told you. Now let me read my audiobook.
He has that deal.
Because he announced he'd signed a new contract, but it was for Audible for doing the narration for his book, which I really want to get. I think it would be fascinating. Be fascinating. Yes. And yes, as Matty has said, we are now officially in the SummerSlam arc now.
Whoop,
and it will still never be decided who has won the wrestling, but your best bet is to follow us here on the channel. Pretty much. We've got Yeah, we've got about 8 or so minutes left. We can dive into NXT briefly, and we can easily talk about the interesting name for one Moneeeeey May, who since last time we came together to talk about WWE stuff, left AEW, went to NXT, and now has a new name called Brooke Monroe. And there was a vignette last night on NXT, very Marilyn Monroe, very kind of 50 chic, apparently inspired a bit by Sabrina Carpenter, all that sort of stuff. But
Yes.
I kind of got the vibe that we're going with. I'm indifferent to the name, to be perfectly honest. It's like, it's a name. It's played a bit into what Mariah May's interests are in terms of glamour and stuff like that. It's like, it's not the greatest name, but it will do, to be perfectly honest. It's fine. Unfortunately, it does seem to be the same name as a porn star at the moment, so that's a great start.
And I think a burlesque dancer as well. So it's kind of I saw that earlier and I was just like, oh.
So also Matty's just raised it in the chat, but the first half of I think the first half of the name is named after Mariah's niece.
Yes, I did hear that earlier on today. Yes. So, and then Monroe, obviously Marilyn Monroe. So.
Yeah. So makes sense. Makes sense there. But obviously people are going, but it's not Mariah May. It's not Mariah June or August or September, October, November, December, January, February, March.
Mariah Marsh.
April. I've got a name. What is it? It's Mariah May. Get out. Can we do Mariah Leaf or Leap yet? No. Oh.
There's a Southpaw wrestler though.
Just May Monroe is much better. That might have worked.
That would have worked.
That would have worked.
Yeah.
I mean,
I might have to change it. I don't know.
I think with these name changes, as long as they're not utterly stupid, and we've seen stupid before.
Yep.
Max Dupree. Scripps.
I forgot about that.
There's probably a whole list of the dumbest names. Ivan Yankum. There you go. Yes, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm sure it's like when people for a long while did not like the Gunther name for Walter. It's just like, I get it, but he's kind of made it his own now on main roster. So it's like, all fine, fair enough. It's just like, this is the thing. They're going to. It's like, it's a thing. It's very. I mean, I think it was quite rare that Ethan Page got to keep his name, but maybe it's because Ethan Page's only NXT round is only going to be NXT focused. So you never know.
Probably
it's his fault. It's his fault there.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see how she gets on. Very likely, possibly going to be the one to take some belts from JCJ at an NXT event. Maybe Evolution very soon. You never know. But then you still got Jordan Grace still lingering around there. But then again, might be going up soon to main roster. There's a lot of things still up in the air, really. It's like it's a good thing, because it's a good thing that I'll say Brooke Monroe is now there because obviously Julia, Roxanne, Stephanie all moving up to main roster. You need a bit of star power coming in. So, and it still makes the women's division quite interesting down NXT. I think generally across the board in WWE now, I think the women's roster is still is the strongest it's probably been in terms of talent and characters and stuff like that. And we've got Evolution coming up very, very soon, which will hopefully showcase all that. And in speaking of Evolution side of things, Harriet's going to be leading the Evolution show for us here on BunkaMania. So I'm stepping aside, and Harriet's calling all the shots from what's going on, from the people that come onto the stream as well. So that's going to be fun to see happen as well. I've pretty much not got anything else to talk about in the world of WWE. I think we've covered a lot of things.
We've covered the main stuff, so yes.
We've covered the main stuff. We've processed the main stuff.
Yes.
We've questioned the main stuff. We've said hi to Andrade, and we've moved on.
We said bye to Andrade because he didn't win. I feel bad now.
I want better for Andrade. I do.
I do as well. It's kind of
It's just one of those things. It's. I think I would have found it less hilarious if they'd actually done some build-up of Andrade in that video for Money in the Bank. It's just hits his third match. Look, it's Penta.
Jesus,
it's just the camera pan across. It's just Andrade who's sat by himself in a chair in a corridor going, gracias. Oh, hola, sorry. Just, he's happy to be here, but he's probably going to complain about it on social media.
True.
I don't know. I want better things for Andrade. I do.
Yeah.
Right. Let us wrap things up. That is all from this episode of BunkaMania Wrestling. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for getting involved in the chat and sending through some of your sound effects as well. We had a couple of yeets and all that sort of stuff as well. But yes, if you've enjoyed the show and you would like to find out more or when we go live next, hit the follow button on BunkaMania Twitch. It's completely free to do so. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. You'll also be notified when we go live as well. And if you're watching over on the Dekker Dane channel, you, of course, can jump over to the BunkaMania channel as well to follow all the action there. In terms of upcoming content, I believe that particular weekend of Evolution, the Great American Bash, All In, is going to be quite a jam-packed weekend of content for us, possibly. So I think we still need to kind of figure out the logistics of this one. We know how it's running Evolution. I am going to be floating around somewhere. I might do something to do with a Great American Bash. I might dive a bit into All In, who knows, all that sort of stuff. But yes, we will figure stuff out. So there is lots of wrestling stuff on the horizon. But hopefully between now and then we'll do another stream or two with some things as well, because there's lots going on in AEW, and we like to try and cover a bit more of AEW as well. So yes, your best bet to find out all that's going on, hit the follow button. Completely free to do so. But that's not all. We have our own personal streams as well. Harriet, tell the lovely people all about what you do.
So at the moment, I am streaming until dawn. I've moved it till next week, so obviously this has happened. Also, very busy day yesterday, so I wasn't able to. So I'll be streaming the next part of that next Tuesday at 8 o'clock, and you can see my Twitch there we go, Harriet_manga girl. I post on Blue Sky when I stream and my schedule and whatnot. YouTube, yeah, we're working on that. Slowly but surely we'll try and get some videos on there soon. But yes, carrying on until dawn. Also a possible Twitchiversary stream at some point. I'm trying to plan stuff about it in the future, but it won't be until July, so don't know when. But we'll plan something. We'll do something, because I'm very late in regards to celebrations, because life. So yeah, if you want to see me act so brave to the point I hide behind my controller to play until dawn, you can watch me next Tuesday for the next few weeks, trying not to be scared but failing epically.
Thank you very much. Over to me. Yes, you can follow me over at the Dekker Dane on Twitch and on Blue Sky. Blue Sky, I just share a couple of little things here and there, as well as let people know when I'm live, all that sort of stuff. Current plans on the Dekker Dane stream. This weekend, Saturday, I will be doing a stream anniversary. I didn't realize it was my stream anniversary until I found out on Monday, and I was like, okay, we'll do a little stream. We'll have a couple of hours of fun on Saturday. We might do some more Hitman. Maybe I might do Hitman, but you're in charge of how I'm going to complete my hit. Maybe you tell me I have to throw a rubber ducky at someone. Maybe we'll see how that goes. Might be fun. Might be entertaining. Monday, we're back to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm going to be a big brave boy, and I'm going to take on that giant snake and other things in that temple. And God help me. And next Wednesday, we'll be doing a special sponsored stream on the channel. We'll be looking at DC Dark Legion as well. So you can join me over there on the Dekker Dane there. And then, yes, after that, it's back to more hilarities with watch-alongs, more Indiana Jones, and more games. There we go. That's my admin out of the way. So, Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the stream, and we will see you very, very soon for another episode. The wrestling is still going on. It will never be decided who has won the wrestling, but your best bet is to enjoy the show. Thanks, Triple H. Thanks. Till next time, adios.